Oh yes, hello, it's Sussex Murphy here alongside my cousin, Cousin Furphy. Cousin Furphy? No, it's... Ah yes, hello, it's Sussex Murphy here. And I'm here with my cousin, the Reverend C.F. Furphy O.B.E. We're not going through that again. We're here for another episode of Furphy's Fables. But before we get into the fabling, here is my brother, his cousin, the Murpher, Surfer Murphy, with our sponsorship announcement. Hello and welcome to the sponsorship announcement. All Murphiverse programming is brought to you by Home for the LD our wonderful sponsors. They are based in Western Australia and they sell laserdiscs, HD DVDs, and CDs. So for all of your needs in those regards, go over to their wonderful website, homefortheldlee.com, and don't forget to put in at checkout Murph. That's Murph as in Murphy. Then go to checkout and do the thing that does stuff, and you know how it works. And yes, then you get 20% off. So yes, check out Home for the LD Lee. Lots of wonderful bargains. Plus you get that 20% off. All you have to do is write Murph. So yes, and you can be Murphing the movies, much like my brother's show from the other week. So yes, thank you for watching this. And now onto the show. Back to Cousin Furphy and Sussex Murphy. I suppose the first thing we want to talk about really is the painting behind us. Yes, isn't it lovely? Yes. Well, are you going to say anything else about it? All right. Yes. That's the latest from the works. My cousin, his brother, they did that for me just because really. And obviously we discovered that there is a beer named after me, and we had a case from it, and so yes, he's done this wonderful painting of the two of us on the box. So yes, thank you very much. The works. So now on to Furphy's Fables. So there was this one time I was walking through the market, and who did I see but Tom Cruise? And we're heading into the area where they sell fish. And Furphy, I don't know if that's really Tom Cruise has been known to be rather litigious, and so maybe not the right story to tell. Oh really? It's quite a cracker. Nevertheless, I think we should probably avoid that. Well, I'm out of ideas. Look at the lovely painting. It is so lovely. It's a lovely picture of me and Sussex. And do do dee do 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 dee do 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 dee do 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 dee do 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 dee do 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 lovely painting do. Oh, and after last time, I've been told not to mention Brian Adams. So apologies if anyone wanted any more juicy gossip about that, but he hasn't been in touch, so yes. Oh, that's fine. I could tell you about the time when I was backstage at the Live Aid concert. Yes, I was indeed there for the whole thing, well, the London one at least. And this was just before Queen was scheduled to go on. And Francis Rossi from Status Quo was hanging around, just generally being a bit of a pain, really. I think he was a little worse for the wear. In fact, many people were worse for the wear from that show. A lot of drinking going on, and lots of other sorts of assorted substances were being ingested. So, yes. Anyway, he made a passing sort of vaguely homophobic remark, and Freddie came right over, Freddie Mercury, of course, Farrokh Balsara, as his real name was. He came over and got Francis right in a headlock and wouldn't let him go until he apologized. And indeed he did apologize. He may have wet himself too. I wasn't going to get that close to that particular area of Francis Rossi, to be perfectly honest with you. I'd imagine it's a bit of a car crash down there. So, especially because he's got about 12 children, so it must be pretty clapped out by now. Furphy, I really don't know if you should be giving reviews of pop stars' genitals. It's probably not really safe for work content, and also, again, they could probably be litigious like the Tom Cruise thing. But with the Tom Cruise thing, I was only going to bring up the fish. Yes, I know about the fish thing. I think everybody knows about the fish thing with Tom Cruise by now, but nevertheless, it's not really appropriate, and you've got no proof. Okay. So do you have proof about Francis Rossi? Well, I was there. I did see the headlock and all of that. So yes. But the wet himself thing, well, that was something that was just I thought maybe he did. I don't know. I wasn't close enough. There was a funny smell. There could have been various other substances, though. Right. Okay, well, we'll leave that bit out and just get on with it, okay? Okay, but yes, aside from that, it was a lovely day. And the rest of Quo, along with David Bowie, who was dancing with them up on a table. Um, very strange. They were all very, very out of it at the time. I believe that's why that neither Quo or Bowie were invited back to the Live 8 thing quite a few years later, um, because both of them, I think, wanted to do it, but yes, their behaviour at this show, I think Bob Geldof wasn't too impressed with some of their, how do we put it, hijinks that went up. Now, this is something that I personally didn't see, but someone else that was there told me this had happened, because I'd had to visit the little Furphy's room, and when I came back, Bowie was banging his head on the floor, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? And apparently, he'd fallen off the table, and Rick Parfitt from Status Quo had said to him, "Oh no, David, your eyes are now the same colour." And so he had a bit of a panic attack and was just banging his head on the floor, trying to make it go back to the way that it was. But of course, there was nothing wrong with it. Well, there was, aside from the fact that his eyes were the different colour in the first place. But yes, they hadn't changed back. And eventually, he went into the bathroom and did check this out, and they had a good laugh about it later, over a few more drinks. Now, it's just as well that I was at the London Live Aid show and not at the Philadelphia show, or I would have met my future lover, Bryan Adams. And Furphy, we're not talking about Bryan Adams anymore, remember? Furphy, bad Furphy, stop it. All right, spoil sport. And now I'm going to tell you the story of the most inappropriate time that I got wind. And Furphy, I'm not sure that's really appropriate either. Why? Well, I just think that maybe it might be a bit, it's quite a classy show, and I think we maybe it's going to lower the tone a bit if we're going to talk about your anal flatulence. Well, it is my show. I mean, it's Furphy's Fables, not Sussex's Fables. All right, fine. Just make sure it doesn't involve anyone that might sue us. Fine. Oh yes, old Furphy was walking down Downing Street, and yes, I rather needed to break wind rather badly. You see, I'd been on the Vindaloos the night before, and was kind of just looking for a place where I could just sort of relieve myself, really. Not, any more than with methane, but yes. So I went around the corner, bum first, and just sort of let one out. What I didn't know is that Margaret bloody Thatcher was standing right behind me. I think she was tying her shoelaces or something, and I don't know why she was bending down in an alleyway off of Downing Street, but nevertheless, she kind of got the full force of my wind. So yes, I did try to apologise, although I mean she was rather evil, but nevertheless, it was still going to be unpleasant, and I'm not one to generally do that kind of thing to someone, even if I don't like them. So yes, it was rather unpleasant for all involved. Luckily, it was just gas, and it may have actually been sort of towards the end of her political career. It wasn't long before she was replaced with John Major, so maybe it had an impact on her political career. I don't know. It wasn't the only time I met Margaret Thatcher, and oddly enough, I had flatulence that night too. This was at a screening of the movie Aladdin, the Disney film from the 90s. We were both given free passes to the London premiere, and she happened to be there with her family, and there was Furphy a few seats over. And I think something that was in the popcorn may have disagreed with me, and, well, old Furphy flew up into the air, and I landed in her popcorn, and she was not happy with that, especially as she remembered from the time before. So, yes. So, Furphy, you're saying that not only have you punched Adolf Hitler in the balls, you've farted in Margaret Thatcher's face. Yes. And what have you done to Donald Trump? Oh, nothing. I mean, I have met him. I think I've already told the story about him shitting in my friend's fridge. So we'll leave that for maybe double check that actually. I don't know. I don't remember that. Well, we have drunk rather a lot since we started this series. Well, maybe just go over it again. Oh, okay, fair enough. So this story was rather a long time ago, and I'm fairly sure I've already told you this one, but Sussex doesn't remember. So So yes, I was at a party in New York. The Trumps, as in Donald's parents, they came along with their young son to this party, and he was off playing in the children's room. We were all sort of, doing the adult things of getting very, very drunk and just having a party. And suddenly Donald comes running in saying, "I need to go plopsy. I need to go plopsy." And his parents kind of ignored him because they were, in mid-conversation. They weren't just going to take him to the bathroom. And he was 30 at this time, so he was probably old enough to do it himself. But yes, so he just, without having someone to help him, he just found the nearest thing that he could go in. And unfortunately for the owners of the house, that was the refrigerator. So he did that. And yes, they got asked to leave because obviously no one wants their fridge shat in. Well, most people wouldn't want that. There are some people that are into that kind of thing. But yes, that was rather unpleasant. And they were asked to leave. And the owner of the house, whose party was running the party, was going to rub his nose in it. But Trump Sr. went and said, "You are not treating my son like that. He's special." So yes, he kind of got away with it. But I guess that kind of explains rather a lot about him, really. But yes, I'm fairly sure I'd already told that, but that was a quick retelling. And if I hadn't already told it, maybe I'll do it in more detail in a follow-up video. But I'm fairly sure I have. Yes, now I hear it, it does sound familiar. Yes, I'm pretty sure I have said that before on the show. Or one of the shows, anyway. Yes. Okay, have you got anything else for us this week? Oh yes, don't worry about that. Furphy will never run out of stories. Okay, so this next story involves the professional wrestler Hulk Hogan. Now, Hulk Hogan, he does something that I don't really approve of, and that is he tells a lot of lies. Furphy would never lie to you, Everything I say is 100% true. Anyway, this was another time I was in America. I think this was in California, if I remember correctly. And I go into the men's restroom to relieve myself, and I hear this kind of noise coming out of one of the stalls. And so I climbed up on the door and had a look over, and there's Hulk Hogan. And yes, he just had and yes, the reason he was making that noise was he'd got his, he calls his arms his pythons, but I suppose there's nothing really python-like about the thing that he got stuck in his zip. So yes, if you've seen something about Mary, imagine that. He had his trouser snake in the fly of his jeans. There was blood. It was very funny, but also kind of disturbing. So, yes, and then I don't think he wanted to leave because he didn't want anyone to know about it. You know how he does that thing where he rips his shirt off? Well, he tried to do that with his jeans, but that's obviously a much thicker material, and it was never going to work. So it really just made the problem worse. Now, in the end, his son came in looking for him, and he called for an ambulance, and he was taken off to hospital. And apparently it was all good after that. But yes, he was in rather a lot of pain, and I actually did get some of his blood squirted in my eye, so I had to go get a test after that, because you never know what's in Hulk Hogan's blood, the amount of things he's injected in himself over the years to maintain that sort of physique. Okay, so you're absolutely sure that all of these things really happened? Yes. Okay then, well I guess that's another episode of Furphy's Fables, and we're going to do something a little bit different to close the show. We're going to hand back to the Murpher, so he can do his thing, and yes, thank you. Well, thank you very much for watching the show. Don't forget to check out our website at neonchimp.net/murph.htm. Also, don't forget Home for the LD Lee, and don't forget to tune in next week for my show, Murphy's Music Reviews, with a very special episode coming up. So yes, looking forward to that, and looking forward to you all watching that and watching this too. So yes, thank you for watching, and Furphy's Fables. It doesn't really work when I say it, so join us next week for Murphy's Music Reviews.
I was in a bucket.